Status quo right now. We've still got all the northbound travel lanes on Mountain View Corridor blocked right now due to a crash from earlier this morning. We did hear of injuries, so it's going to still be a little while longer until this is open again. Now, we do have reports of another crash a little further up on northbound Mountain View Corridor around the North Wood Hollow Road. Now, that's not nearly as severe. It's just sitting on the right shoulder, but please do give them some space as you come through there. We're also going to have some trouble on 2100 North in Lehigh going towards I-15, but on I-15, things are looking good, clear into the city. Aubrey?
I-15 moving smoothly from Ogden into downtown as well, and Highway 89, Legacy Parkway, and the West Davis Corridor all moving at good speeds. We are still seeing a bit of slowing on eastbound I-80 in Pardleys Canyon from Kimball Junction over to Highway 40. That's just for that right lane as you're trying to turn on to Highway 40. UDOT construction alert, a new interchange is scheduled to open in Springville on Friday. The Dry Creek Parkway interchange will improve access to I-15. I'm Aubrey Withrich in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today, 100. Tomorrow, 104. Sunday, 106. We stay over 100 through Tuesday and then 98 Wednesday and Thursday with a chance of rain midweek next week. Right now, 79 downtown, and Inside Sources is next.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
9 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour, we're learning more about the fire in American Fork Canyon. County Commissioner Skylar Beltran posted on X the fire is 5 acres and has led to the evacuation of Timpanooki Campground and the Mutual Dell area. Tibble Fork Reservoir is closed so air operations can use the water. Some nearby trails are also closed. This weekend, temperatures are expected to be only a degree away from hitting an all-time heat record in Salt Lake. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis reports.
The all-time record for heat in Salt Lake is 107 degrees, and by Sunday we'll be at 106 and have a 30% chance of reaching that 107-degree marker, says National Weather Service meteorologist Mike Seaman. It's not just Salt Lake that could be reaching or exceeding their daily heat record.
Up in Logan, we're looking at high temperatures on Sunday of 105. Their all-time record is 101, so we wouldn't just be breaking that record, we'd be breaking it by several degrees.
Ogden and Provo will also be pushing their heat records with temperatures over 101 degrees. Seaman says these temperatures are likely to peak between 2 and 6 p.m. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story this hour from ABC News. President Trump has removed the 3 remaining members of a bipartisan federal commission that tests and certifies voting machines. It's alarming Democrats.
Stood up to help states update their voting systems after the 2000 Florida recount. The Election Assistance Commission certifies equipment and offers guidance to state officials. It's meant to be bipartisan. An aide says the president has the right to remove officials who, quote, may not be totally aligned with the important task of securing America's elections and ensuring every legal vote is counted. Top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer calls the firings a brazen attempt to seize control of elections months before the midterms.
ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy. Your money at this moment, the Dow is up 50 points. We're at 52,541. Coming up, it's a heat wave, extreme heat this weekend. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:02. Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today. Call 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Summer happens. Backyard barbecues, pool days, family vacations, kids running in and out of the house, pets tracking in dirt after every adventure. By July, your carpets have probably seen it all. Instead of worrying about the mess, let Zero-Res take care of it. Their patented cleaning technology removes dirt, stains, and allergens without the use of sticky soaps or harsh chemicals. Their process leaves your carpet looking and feeling cleaner longer, saving you time and money. Even better, a Zero-Res clean leaves carpets dry in hours, not days, so you can get back to enjoying summer sooner. And every cleaning is backed by the Gotta Love It guarantee. If you're not completely satisfied, Zero-Res will come back and re-clean the areas you're not happy with at no additional cost. Right now, get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $139. Call 866-ZERO-RES or schedule online at ZeroRes.com today to start your summer cleanup. Spell the same forward or backward. Zero-Res is the right way to clean.
Can you hear it? That's the sound of nature waking up in Box Elder County. Spring has sprung, and the first visitors are already here. From grebes to geese, Bear River Bird Refuge is alive with the sound of thousands of wings. And it's not just the birds who are invited. There's plenty for you to enjoy. Experience the world-class minerals at Crystal Hot Springs. Stand on the spot where the railroads joined and forged the destiny of a nation at Golden Spike National Historic Park. Check out the jaw-dropping murals up and down Tremonton's charming Main Street. The list goes on and on. Hungry? From fine dining to classic comfort food, Box Elder County has something that's sure to hit the spot. In Box Elder County, the air is fresher, the sky is wider, and spring is in full bloom. Come wake up your senses and plan your spring escape at visitboxeldercounty.com. Produced in partnership with the Utah Office of Tourism.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. You deserve to love where you bank. And here's Cormac Bone.
It is still closed northbound Mountain View Corridor, Porter Rockwell Boulevard, and that is due to that crash that they're still cleaning up. Drivers are being diverted over to Redwood Road on Porter Rockwell, so northbound Redwood Road also seeing some delays as you come out of Utah County into Salt Lake County. I-15, though, running clean and clear really in both directions between Ogden and Provo. You do see that right lane delayed eastbound I-80 getting out of Kimball Junction and approaching US 40. Thirsty for better water? Culligan has you covered. From softeners and filtration to bottled-free coolers and bottled water delivery, trusted local experts make water taste amazing. Visit CulliganSLC.com. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's going to get hot today. We're going to hit triple digits. We'll get up to 100 around 3 p.m. this afternoon. 104 tomorrow, 106 on Sunday. Right now, it's 79 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at KSLNewsRadio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
So potentially record-breaking and dangerously high temperatures this weekend. So you know where you're going to find me?
Where?
Hiding inside my house with the air conditioner on full blast. You know where we're going to find you?
I'm going to be doing a bike race in the morning in Logan, but it starts at 6:30.
But
so
it's 77 miles. You're crazy.
It's going to take me a little while to finish.
So, look, I don't know how much cooler it's going to be in Logan, even early in the morning. So Matt Johnson, our KSL meteorologist, is here. We're going to ask him, any real relief in the mountain valleys?
Yes, but it'll still be quite warm. Are you doing the Lodija?
No, it's a Grand Final. Lodija is in September.
Oh, okay.
It's the Cache Valley Grand Final every year, and it is. I'm doing this 77-mile race, so not the full century, but it starts at 6:30. Matt, I'm thinking I can finish in 4 hours and I'll be done by 10:30. Might still be sort of cool.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine, and that's and that's kind of the messaging we're having this weekend. Is that, hey, if you want to do strenuous athletic active activities outside, probably choose that morning or evening hour, as the brunt of the heat, the peak of the heat during the day is going to be pretty hot. In fact, some places rivaling not just daily or monthly record highs, but all-time highs.
Yeah, that's not fun to me, actually.
What I was surprised at was the starting time temperature was quite warm. Usually you would expect mountain valleys to be 50s, high 50s.
Mhm.
I think our start time at 6:30 a.m. is going to be 68 degrees.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So it's not going to cool off much tonight.
Yeah, no, and that's what makes these heat waves and heat domes dangerous is that, yes, it gets hot during the day and everyone's aware of that, but when your body can't fully cool off at night or in the early morning, like you're saying with those overnight lows, you start to get worn out. Your body starts to, really expend most of its energy trying to keep you cool. And so if you can, avoid that strenuous activity outside when it's peak heat, because in the overnight, your body might be having to work a little bit harder just to stay cool.
It's the first time I've ever seen this, but or maybe not, but they're actually encouraging people not to do the 102-mile ride because it's going to take them past the noon hour. I mean, that gets you much later in the day.
Hot.
I guess because you start getting our afternoon and mid-afternoon temperatures are going to be pretty bad, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, today alone, by noon, we're going to be 92 in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
And we're going to get even warmer than this. So I wouldn't be surprised if by noon we're like 95 on Saturday and Sunday in the valley.
Yeah.
So it's little heat wave headed our way.
So I wanted to ask you, I also wanted to mention before I ask you my question, fire risk has got to be high because we already know it's hot and dry. It's going to be hotter. And this morning I woke up to an alert on my phone from the Watch Duty app that I have that said that my campground up my canyon was on fire and had to be evacuated at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's Timpanuki. They've also evacuated Mutual Dell, and they've closed Tibble Fork just so they can use the water. What are we expecting to see for fire patterns?
Yeah, so if I had to start with the good, that would be that we're not going to see a ton of wind out of this system. Wind adds tons of oxygen usually to these fires, and that's what's fanned most of our fires this year. We've just had a lot of dry wind. Now, the other side is it's really hot, so it's going to be very easy for fuels to combust and burn and spread. So yes, we don't have the wind-driven aspect, but the heat, like you said, is not going to necessarily be helping. So we'll likely see growth on some of our fires, and hopefully, I last checked, I think it was at 4 or 5 acres.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can get some kind of
Right.
some kind of break on this thing before it catches bigger, heavier fuels.
Right. I have a question about the heat dome. So I mean I can visualize like a big bowl upside down over a huge chunk of the United States. But what really is a heat dome?
Yeah, so a heat dome is basically a convection oven in the atmosphere. So
well, that sounds gross.
Yeah. So you're getting heat that's circulating within this upside down bowl that you speak of. If you were to look at the atmosphere in a 3D form, it would definitely look like an upside down bowl. And what you're getting is circulating heat. During the day it rises, during the night it's sinking down, and you're just recirculating this air within this dome, and we will continue to do that through the weekend. Now, I would say that the silver lining is that it's not short, but it's a 4 to maybe 5 day heat wave. But in March, that was days on end.
Yeah.
And those temperatures were, pushing 30 above normal. If it were to be 30 above normal with a March-like heat wave that we saw this last March, we'd be up in the 115 range
that's
plus, which is absurd. So strong heat wave, not as strong as March.
Wow.
Let me ask you about moisture in our future, if there is any. And I referenced sort of what happened this week. It seemed like there was a storm that came through, and some cities got like half an inch. Next door, they got nothing. I mean, it was kind of a weird storm for moisture.
Yeah.
Are we expecting any more moisture in the next few days?
So part of what's happening with this heat wave is this is actually going to help to draw in more moisture, monsoon moisture. And this heat dome is going to be centered over the Four Corners this weekend, and so that's why we're going to be so hot. The proximity of the core of the high really cranks the temperatures for us. But eventually next week, the core of high pressure is actually going to drift into Colorado and eventually the Midwestern U.S., the plains. When you get high pressure to our east like that, it actually serves to draw in, it opens the door for monsoon moisture. And we've been watching for the last 8 days. Wow. Models have been hinting for the last 8 straight days that we would see a pattern shift, a true monsoon, a signature monsoon that would set up, and that's going to draw in moisture not only from the Sea of Cortez, but deep from the Gulf.
Oh, wow.
And when we get both taps of moisture like that, we can get really good thunderstorm activity down in southern Utah. Daily afternoon monsoon thunderstorms in the mountains of southern Utah. Eventually it'll work its way north into central Utah, and what we're seeing now from models is that at some point next week, this will be moving into the northern mountains and potentially northern valleys. So
you're feeling pretty confident about that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yep. We've been seeing a pretty strong signal from models on this, and so it's looking like a classic monsoon setup, and it could take a little while to get started in here, but I've even got isolated storms next Wednesday, Thursday in Salt Lake City.
Wow. Okay, keeping our fingers crossed.
Yep. Yes.
And I will be indoors all weekend, unlike my co-host. Thanks, Matt Johnson, KSL meteorologist. And look, when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation about the July heat wave with something I haven't thought a ton about, but it's the effect of high heat on mental health. We're going to talk with a therapist and get his takes when we come back.
Hey, we're not even halfway through the summer, and so if you still want to get into your summer clothes and you think, well, it's going to take 4 or 5 weeks to do that, you have plenty of time. Call SOTA Diet Nutrition and say, what can you do for me in 4 weeks? And I'll tell you what they did for me in 4 weeks, and that is I lost 18 pounds. It was great. I continued to lose pounds for the next several weeks, and I've kept it off. SOTA Diet Nutrition has been great, and the reason I hooked up with them is because it was based on diet and nutrition, and I had a nutritionist who helped me establish my diet and nutrition. I didn't have to take medication or anything like that. Just diet, just fitness, just things that I normally would do anyway, just on a more regulated and understood basis. So it really was a great program for me, and I started it. It's been over 3 months now. I've kept the weight off. I got to the weight I wanted to be at, and it's been really effective for me. SOTA dietandnutrition.com, SOTA, remember that. Join us for a short time to have results that last a lifetime. SOTA, say it with me, state of the art.
If you're ready to buy a home or sell a home and you're worried about the current real estate market because of what you've heard from some of your friends or family, well, we're here to tell you that you really shouldn't be worried, because now is a great time to buy and sell with our friends at the Stern Team, powered by Almada Real Estate.
And here's why. Buyers have more options due to increased inventory, which gives them the power to negotiate for repairs, interest rate buy downs, and closing cost assistance. While at the same time, sellers are still getting top dollar for their homes, with home values that are higher today than ever before. So whether you're looking to buy or sell, the current real estate market presents a win-win opportunity for both buyers and sellers.
But you still do want to make sure that you're working with a team of real estate experts you can trust that can get you some great results. And that's our friends at the Stern Team, powered by Almada Real Estate.
They have helped thousands of Salt Lake City homeowners, and they're ready to help you. To get started, just go to thesternteam.com. That's thesternteam.com, or Google The Stern Team.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now, or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Are you a local business tired of juggling deliveries, managing drivers, or sending valuable employees across town? There's a better way. Pigeon Ship. For more than 10 years, Pigeon Ship has provided fast, reliable, same-day and next-day delivery services for businesses throughout Utah. Whether you need a few deliveries a day or hundreds, Pigeon Ship has the network, technology, and experience to get it done on time. Auto parts, plumbing supplies, electrical components, pharmacy deliveries, and more. Utah's most successful businesses trust Pigeon Ship to keep their operations moving. Stop the stress of hiring drivers. Stop pulling employees away from their real jobs. And stop worrying about whether your deliveries will arrive on time. Join the thousands of businesses that rely on Pigeon Ship every day for dependable local delivery solutions. Visit pigeonship.com today to schedule a call and see how quickly Pigeon Ship can streamline your delivery operations. Pigeon Ship. Avoid the trip. Pigeon Ship. That's pigeonship.com. pigeonship.com.
Property managers, customers see your parking lot first. If it's cracked, they're already walking away. Call GoPave Utah. Seal coating, crack sealing, striping, and patching. Schedule at gopavutah.com.
My name is Dale Pazinski. I volunteer with United Way to help the homeless in my community learn computer skills and build a basic resume. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Everything to my back is dark.
High in the alpine wilderness.
The ridgeline is imposing, the escarpments, the drops.
A place where survival,
it's dark now, I have nothing,
is never certain. In 2011, an Australian hiker vanished.
Did he really make a wrong turn, or did he decide that he was done?
You have done this walk too, but this is your backyard.
The mountains have decided to keep him.
Find and follow the podcast series Uinta Triangle, wherever you get your podcasts.
Inside Sources. Inside Sources.
You know, we all understand that the high heat can be bad for your physical health, especially if you're outside, especially if you're doing something crazy like I am tomorrow, and exercising at a high rate. But have you ever thought about what it could do to your mental health? That was a little bit of news to me, although maybe not, shouldn't have been too surprising.
So, look, we talked about this yesterday with our producer and did a little research. So not only are there mental health impacts, but there are also people who take some pretty common medications that are more sensitive to high temperatures than they would be otherwise even.
Yeah, so we are in the midst of a July heat wave, and we are continuing our conversation on this weekend's potentially record-breaking heat. And we wanted to talk about the mental health aspects of that, which, I mean, if you think about it, the weather in the winter when you have those inversions or those times when you can't see, more than a block, it can mess with people's heads. The times when we have it seems like every year there's 3 or 4 weeks where you don't see the sun. That messes with people. But I think the record heat could be bad too, because, sometimes you just have to stay inside.
Yeah.
And you can't get outside. And it's beautiful outside.
So of course there are concerns for people who don't have air conditioning or who don't have a home that they can go inside for. So I am glad we have an opportunity to mention there are cooling zones all over Salt Lake Valley, but they're in other places as well. But we have with us Gregory Noel. He's co-founder and clinical director of In Solidarity Counseling. And thanks for joining us today, Gregory.
It's a pleasure to be on with y'all today.
So we're talking about the mental health impacts of extreme heat, and I wonder if you could just start us off by giving us some of your take on this.
I'm grateful to be having this conversation. When we're talking about the conversation around extreme heat, usually, this centers around sunburn or dehydration. And, those things matter, but the research now tells us the brain sits right at the center of this story as well. As we're anticipating extreme heats, coming into the weekend, this definitely impacts the mental well-being of Utahns. I'm looking at some research right now. It says a U.S. study published in JAMA Psychiatry found an 8% increase in mental health-related emergency department visits on the hottest days of summer.
Wow.
And, this is in comparison to, some of the coolest days. And they said that this is spanning when it comes to mood disorders, anxiety, substance use, self-harm, and childhood behavioral disorders.
Wow. So if I understand you correctly, what this research is showing is not only an increase in ER visits, but the heat can exacerbate mental health conditions, maybe pre-existing mental health conditions. Am I understanding that correctly?
100% you're understanding that correctly. To add to this research, Dr. Kim Maidenbauer, this is a psychological researcher at Washington State University, explains it clearly. When your body hits extreme heat, the brain's hypothalamus takes over and redirects energy towards thermal regulation. That means your body prioritizes keeping your core temperature stable over higher cognitive functions like decision making, emotional control, and clear thinking.
Wow.
So do you recommend at this time of year that people that may be sensitive to that type of thing just stay inside? I mean, because that may have some mental health implications as well. So being cooped up in your house, I mean, you know, you look outside and it's beautiful and you want to get out, but that could be, maybe it's a lose-lose.
Again, everyone knows their body, and they know what their body needs. So outside of, staying inside, it's also being strategic about, getting out and connecting with others because, like you said, it's very beautiful outside. These are the warm seasons. This is the time where people tend to want to go out and have certain adventures. So it's doing your due diligence, being aware of what your body needs so you don't end up having a heat-related crisis while you're outside. And I noticed that y'all were talking about some of these cooling zones outside of being hydrated. And there's a lot of research out there that shows that we're poorly hydrated as human beings. We're not taking in the sufficient amount of water that we need to sustain our thermal regulation. So we want people to be intentional. Like one of the things that I do is I carry around a 40-ounce thermal bottle with me. This thermos, it keeps the water cool, and I carry that with me because I know that I'm not good at staying hydrated unless I have something with me that reminds me to rehydrate my body.
So that actually brings up, I think, a really interesting point as well. I agree. We're all dehydrated, or almost all of us. Are there additional medications that people might be taking or even drinking? So I understand that caffeine can be a diuretic, meaning you're putting out more than you're taking in. What should we be cautious about if we're taking certain medications or even some over-the-counter things with extreme heat?
One of the ones that researchers are finding to be a cautionary tale is psychotropic medications, because these can impair the body's ability to handle heat, raising the risk of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. So we're finding here in the state of Utah that this is at an uptick, that a lot of people are taking certain psychotropic medications to sustain their mental, emotional well-being. So that's something for people to be, cautionary about, is that you are taking this psychotropic medication to support your quality of life, but then also ensure that you're supplementing certain resources like, Gatorade, or, because sometimes people don't just want to drink water. So right. I know that there's a lot of Mios out there where you can spritz some of that in your water and it gives you some extra electrolyte boost and things like that, just to offset some of those secondary symptoms that come from taking psychotropic medications.
I can imagine, and we don't have a lot of time left, but that people who are really warm at night and trying to sleep and trying to get in a comfortable environment can have a real problem not being able to, because we all sort of count on that, the cold side of the pillow, the cold side of the bed. And sometimes if it doesn't get down there, you're not sleeping well. That could be a real problem too, couldn't it?
100%. Again, this is where that self-awareness comes into play, and connecting with a healthcare provider. And then for those people who are, struggling financial wise, those people who identify as being unhoused, being able to connect with community-based clinics and resources so they can have additional cooling methods, and there's a variety of different cooling methods, but people have to be able to connect with a professional that can help them to identify the methods that's going to work best for them, because I think sometimes people, if you're sleeping on a traditional bed and you're trying to get, cooler, then you might want to have a bed that's more ground level, so it just, again, depends on what the need is and then connecting with the proper resources to support that.
So thank you. That's so interesting and, important information, I think, for our listeners. So thanks for joining us today. That's Gregory Noel.
Well, we don't think about the mental health aspects of heat. We think about other temperature things and other problems, but yeah, that's very helpful. Good stuff.
So one of the things that I know about myself about heat, and I will say I'm not on any psychotropic medications, and although it may be in dispute that I may or may not have mental health issues, I get really cranky. Like when I'm hot, I am really irritable and cranky, and that is one of the things that can happen when you get extra hot.
Yeah, I'm already worried about tomorrow getting out on the bike. We might have to shorten the ride.
You'll have to text me and tell me that you made it home safely.
I'll do that.
So look, next on Inside Sources, we called it. We totally called it. It's day 5 of the preliminary hearing for the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk, and we're not done yet. The judge says there's going to be one more hearing in September before he makes a decision on whether or not to take this to trial. Greg Skordas, I have to talk to you about this after the break.
9:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour, one man has been arrested for the murder of a 71-year-old veteran living in northern Utah. A second suspect is still on the loose. Court documents say Axel Eduardo Chavez drove to Utah from California, met a second suspect in West Point, and from there the two drove to James Witten's house, where Chavez is accused of getting out of the car and firing at Witten 10 times, killing him before driving away. Chavez was arrested in Las Vegas and is now behind bars in Davis County. Murray police are asking for any more possible victims to come forward after the arrest of 2 18-year-old men accused of child rape. KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce has more.
Police say they caught 18-year-old Yusuf in the back of a car with a 13-year-old girl at Murray Park. And the victim told police another 13-year-old friend had also been there with 18-year-old Odai Ali. Both men are charged with rape of a child, a first-degree felony. But police say in the course of the investigation, they became concerned about the way the two men allegedly met the younger girls using social media and reportedly telling officers they met up with them for the purpose of having sex.
Murray police say if you know anything about what happened or if you are also a victim, you should give them a call. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. President Trump has chosen not to sign a sweeping housing affordability bill. It's in protest of Congress not approving the SAVE Act. The housing measure could become law without President Trump's signature, as he had 10 days to issue a veto and stop the measure. Your money at this moment, the Dow is up 121. This morning, we're at 52,608. Coming up, extreme heat this weekend. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:32. A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
It is July, and it is getting hot. For years, I've always called July the patriotic month. Not only do we have national celebrations, but we have the state celebration as well, and it's time to get the perfect steak going on the grill, but not your grill. The grill that is waiting for you at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. I know we like to think that we're pretty good, as a backyard barbecuer, and some no, but Ruth's Chris will always present the perfect steak in a wonderful environment where it's air conditioned. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about anything other than sitting back with friends, neighbors, and family and enjoying the best meal you have ever had. 275 Southwest Temple. That's Ruth's Chris right here in the heart of downtown Salt Lake City. If you're heading up into the mountains, Hotel Park City. It's the perfect meal for July waiting for you at Ruth's Chris.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep. 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Hey, Utah, have you heard? Nuclear energy might be coming to our state. Now, before your brain jumps straight into sci-fi movies, let's talk about what nuclear actually does. Nuclear technology helps power our nation's submarines, supports life-saving cancer treatments, and produces reliable electricity for millions of homes. That said, nuclear power also comes with some common misconceptions. Don't worry, we get it. Here's a fun fact. You're exposed to more radiation eating bananas than you are living near a nuclear power plant. And get this, a lifetime supply of nuclear energy fits into a single soda can. Despite what some people believe, nuclear energy is safe, clean, and incredibly efficient. But don't just take my word for it. Energy decisions matter, and Utahns deserve the facts. Learn more about nuclear and what it can mean for you. Visit energy.utah.gov/nuclear.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Learn how to save more this summer at uccu.com. And here's Cormac Bone.
Trouble is still on Mountain View Corridor northbound from Utah County into Salt Lake County at Porter Rockwell Boulevard. It is still closed. That's where drivers are being diverted over to Redwood Road. Delays on Redwood Road have actually cleared out quite a bit, but we do have some heavier traffic eastbound on 2100 north from Redwood Road over to I-15, perhaps as drivers avoid Mountain View Corridor. Once you're on I-15, there are no delays between Ogden and Provo. This summer, earn 2 times the points on gas and groceries and 10,000 bonus points you can redeem for cash back, gift cards, and more. Visit cypresscu.com. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
We'll get some dangerously high heat this weekend. 100 today, 104 tomorrow, 106 on Sunday. Right now, partly cloudy at 81 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
So, Greg, we called it at the beginning of the week when they started the preliminary hearing for Tyler Robinson. At first, we were like, how can this possibly last 5 days? And then they started and we're like, oh, I see how. Okay. So today there's another day of testimony and evidence, but I found out that yesterday the judge made a move that just has me kind of gobsmacked, honestly. He set closing arguments for the preliminary hearing for September. First of all, what does that mean?
Yeah, so of course, each side is able to do their summation, and after the evidence is presented at the preliminary hearing, they can then tell the judge why they think that their relative position works. The state's going to argue that we've established probable cause, we've established that a crime was committed, and that Tyler Robinson committed it. It's a low standard of proof. We've established that, and they're going to ask the judge to bind it over. The state's going to argue, the defense is going to argue, well, what about this problem? What about this other problem? And so the judge is going to give them the ability, the defense, to come in and try to convince him in September why he should not bind the case over to go to trial. So even though the evidence is supposed to wrap up today, of course, it's supposed to wrap up. We don't know that it actually will. They haven't even called a witness yet today. They're still arguing. But the judge is going to allow each side to give a 2-hour presentation as to why their relative position should apply, which is either it gets bound over to stand trial or it should not.
So the question that I just have to ask is, why can they not do that today? Why can't they do closing arguments today?
They can, and they usually do. And again, I'm a little frustrated with this case, but I have to keep reminding myself, Holly, that this is a death penalty case, and it's got a lot of public attention. And so we have a judge who is new, but who has substantial experience in the criminal justice system, who is trying to give every side, both sides, and the victim, so I guess there's a third side to this, every opportunity to make their argument, present their case, and preserve the record so that we're not looking at something a year or 2 or 20 or 30 from now saying, well, that preliminary hearing was done incorrectly. Well, let's send the case back down and do it again, because nobody wants to do that. So I think he's being way overly cautious because, and I would say this, the state took way more time than they needed also. This was a day and a half preliminary hearing, and we're now on day 5. And the defense did something unusual, and I wanted to mention this. They've actually calling witnesses of their own, or at least one or two.
Why would they do that if it's the state's opportunity to say we have enough evidence to put this guy on trial?
It's rare that the defense would call a witness, but they may want to call witnesses for the purpose of sort of finding out what they're going to say, locking in their testimony, making sure that the record is clear on what this witness is going to say. And they've got apparently some experts that they're calling of their own. It looks like the judge is taking a...
Yeah, you know what they're taking a break for?
What?
To argue over cameras in court, Greg Skordas.
Good heavens, we need to discuss that because we haven't discussed that yet.
Only 25,000 times.
30 times.
Oh, my gosh.
And by the way, there is a camera in the courtroom, and it's focused on the Great Seal of the State of Utah.
Judiciary.
Yeah.
That's so it's crazy. It's really crazy to me. I guess I'm looking at this saying September 1st is when we're going to have closing arguments for a preliminary hearing to even decide if we're going to trial. However, the judge doesn't have to even rule that day. We're pushing a year since Charlie Kirk died because that was September 10th.
Right, and he probably won't rule because if each side's going to make a 2-hour argument, he's going to want to make a decision based on what he hears, so he's probably going to take it under advisement and come back in a couple of weeks. So, I mean,
I can understand Erica Kirk's frustration of saying, we would like a speedy trial, please.
Absolutely. There is no way, I'll just say this, there is no way that this judge will not bind this case over for trial.
Right.
If the state stood up today and said, Judge, we're out of here, see you later, we're walking out the door, he'll bind it over for trial. I mean, he has no choice because the state has established probable cause. I mean, they did that with Charlie Kirk's roommate.
Yeah.
I mean, that he confessed to him. So they have the medical examiner that says that he was that Charlie Kirk was killed. They have Tyler Robinson's roommate who says Tyler told me he did it. That's pretty much probable cause that a crime was committed and that Tyler Robinson did it. So I don't know that we need a lot more than that. Again,
we're like it's a 6-week break.
I know we're overthinking this prelim a little bit. I think the court is, but again, back to what I do for a living. You have to preserve the record. It's a death penalty case. And when the state comes out of the chute, right as they did in this case, day one, and say, we are seeking the death penalty, boy, it puts everybody on high alert, especially a judge who does not want to get reversed. He does not want to have the Supreme Court of Utah or the United States say, hey, you did that wrong. Go do another preliminary hearing.
So in this 6-week interim after today wraps up at whatever time that happens to be, is there a possibility then that the two sides will get together and talk about a plea deal?
Well, anytime you ask a lawyer, is there a possibility?
Okay.
I mean,
is there a likelihood?
I don't know. I mean, because there hasn't been a bind over yet. I expected that after the preliminary hearing and after the bind over of the preliminary hearing, when both sides had a really good snapshot of what their case is, of the state's case, that there would be some discussion about, hey, is there any middle ground? And I'm not saying there is, or I'm not saying there should be, but usually after the preliminary hearing, both sides are looking at, whoa, here's the strength of my case, here's the weakness of my case. Let's talk about if there's any way possible to resolve this case. And I would say that the state would have to concede that the death penalty doesn't apply, and they would probably have to get Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk's parents on board by saying, we don't really feel that the death penalty is necessary. And then you'd have to get Tyler Robinson to come in and say, well, I'm going to just spend the rest of my life in prison, because I don't see any other resolution in a case like this besides life without parole, if there is a resolution. Otherwise,
if he does a plea, otherwise it's going to trial.
Otherwise it's going to trial, and the jury will decide what the ultimate sentence is.
So I don't know this. If Tyler Robinson and his attorneys say we want to plea, can the state say, well, we don't want to?
Yes.
Okay.
So a plea bargain is like any other negotiation. If you're buying a house, well, we'll give you this. Well, I won't accept that. Well, we'll give you that. Well, so if the defense comes in and says, hey, we want a plea bargain, the state can say, great, let's talk, or they can say no. And the opposite is also true. If the state says, hey, we're willing to make you a deal, and Robinson's attorneys say, forget that, we're going to trial, which would be unlikely, that they would turn away discussion with the state. But, I mean, who knows? I mean, if the goal here is to save his life, then by the defense, then you do anything you can to avoid the death penalty. But again, it would be a hard sell for he's 22, 23 years old.
Yeah, he's 23.
To tell him, we got you a great deal, you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. Wow. But you won't be executed. I mean, maybe that is a good deal. I don't know.
I did see something interesting, and we're almost out of time, but I saw that there are actually 14 seats available for members of the public, and they have started sleeping outside the doors overnight so that they can be first in line. That's a little crazy to me.
Yeah, and only 14 seems like very few, but there must be a lot of media passes. Of course, there are victim passes, and there have been some dignitaries there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mike Lee was there yesterday, actually.
We've had Donald Trump Jr., so people that are entitled to go for their own reasons, and I think the court's going to give them a lot of discretion. And I know some people might think, well, why should he be there if I can't? But I mean, it makes sense that you would give them some decorum and some discretion.
All right, coming up next on Inside Sources, a massive bipartisan federal housing bill will go into effect tonight, unless the president decides to veto, but he said he will not sign it. How can that bill help our own housing crisis here in Utah? We're going to talk about that when we come back.
Hey, so what if I were to tell you that 4 weeks from today, you can be wearing clothes that you're not wearing now, you could be feeling better about yourself, and you can be ready for the rest of the summer? Well, that's true if you hook up with SOTA Diet Nutrition. SOTADietNutrition.com is a program that I got involved with in April because I had a problem trying to lose some weight. When I got into my 60s, I just could not lose the weight. And it was more than I really wanted to bear, and it was causing me to not be able to wear some of the clothes that I'd had for years and some of the suits that I'd had, especially the slacks that I've been wearing. So I thought, I've got to do something to get this weight off because whatever I'm doing isn't working, and I'd always been able to lose weight, but I just couldn't. So I hooked up with SOTA Diet Nutrition because I really didn't want to go see a medical doctor and try to get on medication. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It just wasn't something I was prepared to do yet. So I thought I'd give it a try based on nutrition, based on food, based on diet. It worked for me. In fact, I lost 30 pounds in 7 weeks. You can too. SOTA Diet Nutrition. Say it with me, SOTA, state of the art.
There's nothing better than getting outside with the people you love. And in Utah, we have endless ways to stay active and healthy outdoors. But staying healthy also means staying safe. Intermountain Health recommends that you wear the right gear, stay hydrated, protect your skin, and plan ahead before you go. Know your limits and choose activities that keep it safe and fun for everyone. Because when you make health and safety a part of every adventure, you're taking care of what matters most, your life, your health.
Do you know how to tell if a clogged drain is something to worry about or not? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I understand it's annoying and inconvenient, but sometimes a clogged drain can be a sign there's a more serious issue with your sewer main line. If the drains in the lowest level of your home aren't draining, or you flush a toilet and it comes up somewhere else like a shower or a floor drain, I'm urging you to look at this as more than just an annoyance. The last thing I want you to experience is a sewer backup. If you're a homeowner experiencing any of these issues, the first step would be to snake the line to see if it's just a blockage, which one of our drain techs can do for only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Hey there, it's Julie from Logan. Head up north where the air is clear for a refreshingly unexpected getaway. Start your day by singing yodelay-hoo at the top of your lungs on a canyon trail with views that go on for miles. Here's a secret. The National Forest is only 10 minutes from your hotel. What? I know. Next, rent horses or a side-by-side at Beaver Creek Lodge up Logan Canyon to spy colorful wildflowers and birds and stunningly beautiful scenery. After your day of adventure, wander downtown to check out our local shops selling everything from antiques to giant jigsaw puzzles to vintage clothing and goat's milk soap. Watch them hand-dip chocolates at Bluebird Candy, eat sourdough pizza, or drop into the family-friendly Prodigy Brew Pub where their deep-fried pickle spears are divine. I didn't even mention live theater performance like the Lyrics Laugh Out Loud Forever Plaid, or free concerts every weekday at noon in the Tabernacle, or community festivals, or... See what I'm saying? We are refreshingly Logan. Visit explorelogan.com, explorelogan.com.
It's always fun to shop at NPS. The other day, Dee and I went into NPS, but we went in with a mission. We were doing all kinds of fun things at this time of year with our grandkids and the family. We decided, okay, we've got to get to NPS. And we did, and we started picking up all the fun things. From the treats over in the grocery area, you can pick up your regular groceries there as well, but we were looking for treats for the grandkids, things that would be perfect for the road trip that we were taking down to St. George. We found so many fun things that the kids absolutely loved. Plus, we wanted them to have toys for the backyard, the sandbox, the pool, 20 to 70% savings each and every day at all 4 of their locations. But the cool thing is, and this is where the treasure hunt aspect comes into effect, they offer even more incredible savings on top of the already low price. They're in Orem, they're in Layton, and of course, in Salt Lake. NPS.
Let me ask you a question. You have a best friend? How big would it shock you if somebody told you that your best friend just killed somebody?
Now, the longest emergency. Someone on the other line said they kidnapped my son, and they're demanding $500,000.
I've asked myself so many times, what in the world happened?
Ransom is available now. Listen at ransompodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
The new Inside Sources.
Well, we do have a developing story, and that is that President Trump is following through on his earlier promises to not sign a massive, widely supported bipartisan bill to give more Americans opportunities to buy a home. Hallie, you actually broke this morning in the morning news that he was not willing to sign that.
Yeah.
The housing bill.
So, yes, and he did a very long post on Truth Social where he basically said, I will not sign this bill because you did not pass the Save America Act. He literally said in protest over the fact that the United States Senate is not capable of passing the Save America Act. So come on, he's having a little hissy fit, but he could veto it. He didn't indicate that he was going to.
He just said he's not going to sign it.
He said he's not going to sign it.
There's some magic to today in that respect, right? Because I think today is day 10 when it's been on his desk.
That's right. So once you hit midnight, then this bill will go into effect. And you mentioned that it was a bipartisan bill. It had really broad support. There were only 5 U.S. senators who voted against it, for example, out of 100 total. And then there were 32 probably Republicans. I didn't even look. 32 people in the House out of 435 who voted against it. So massive bipartisan support.
Enough to override a veto.
And this housing bill is something that, look, both sides worked on for a long time. It has 60 pieces of legislation, more than 60 different individual pieces of legislation related to housing going into this bill. So anyway, it did pass. And what happens, this happens at the federal level. It also happens here. The Congress can pass a bill, and then the executive branch, so in this case the president, can veto it, he can sign it, or it can pass into law without a signature.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen tonight at midnight, unless at 11:59 he decides to veto.
What he said is that he won't sign it.
Yeah,
he hasn't said that he'll veto it.
He has not.
He says different things. The war in Iran is a perfect example. But he seems to be dug in pretty well on this one and saying, unless we pass the Save America Act, I'm not going to sign this. That means one of two things. He's not going to sign it, or he'll probably just sit on it and let it go, maybe go into law.
Yeah.
Or he may veto it.
Yeah, and so if you remember, the Save America Act is one that has been really pushed by Utah Senator Mike Lee. He was one of the people who voted against the housing bill, one of the 5. And he had a statement already this morning where he's basically saying, yeah, the president's right. We shouldn't vote. He shouldn't sign anything until we pass the Save America Act. And I'm telling you, it's that Hamilton song, you don't have the votes. Like, it's clear. And this has been held over their heads for months now. They just do not have the votes to pass that bill.
What do you think it is about the housing bill that has so much interest in Congress, especially the fact that a majority passed it? I mean, and because we've been so divided on so many things, and Trump's clearly against it, but Republicans have come around and said we're on board with it.
Because it's not just coming around. So again, this is something that has been worked on for a long time, and it has more than 60 individual pieces of legislation affecting housing in this bill. So some of the things that this bill does include decreasing some regulations. It opens the door to affordable housing, more affordable housing in a couple of ways. One of them is changing how we treat manufactured homes. So homes that are basically built in a manufacturing place and then put up on site afterwards. It changes. There's all kinds of things. One of the things that it does that people are really interested in is it prohibits big corporations from buying up a whole bunch of properties. And we see that as a problem sometimes, because then it makes it so individual homeowners don't actually have houses that they can buy because big corporations have purchased them.
Yeah, I don't understand that logic. I mean, maybe they have some sort of monopoly on them or something like that.
Well, we've seen it. We've seen it in Utah even, where a corporation will buy up a whole bunch of homes as they come on the market, and then they'll use them for short-term rentals.
Oh, okay.
Like Airbnbs,
So
they'll turn them like that. Yeah,
because they can buy them on the cheap.
Or they'll be rentals, right? They'll do them with rentals.
Right.
So longer-term rentals, but those are some of the things. I mean, there are so many different categories where this bill. So I would call this an omnibus bill, but it's an omnibus housing bill, meaning that it touches on a whole lot of areas, including financing, including regulation, including manufacturing, like I mentioned with manufactured homes.
Yeah, and I think that in that respect, I mean, Trump obviously would love interest rates to come down, which would make housing more affordable. But that's the Fed's not willing to do that. But there are a lot of things that Congress is doing here to make it, especially first-time home buyers, to make it a little more palatable for them to come in and be able to afford a home. Because frankly, that's part of the American dream that's been disappearing, is the fact that a lot of our young people, and I know some personally, and you do as well, are saying, I cannot buy a home. And it's not something that we've done in this country historically.
So my own kids, I have kids who've said to me, can I please build a house in your backyard?
Right.
And that's an interesting question. And so far my answer's been, I don't think that will work. But there are different possibilities, right, for people to really start looking at. And the housing bill, again, broad bipartisan support. In fact, if you remember Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, she described it before the president got sideways with it. She described it as one of the most significant pieces of housing legislation in American history. So here is an opportunity for Republicans to take a win, and it's going to be a little tarnished by the president refusing to sign.
But for the Save America Act, I think the president would sign it. My guess is he's in support of it, that he's been behind it, or at least that he's not necessarily against it.
He was behind it up until this point, up until the point where towards the end of June, they had a big signing ceremony set up. You remember seeing there were images of all the chairs lined up. They were that close. And then at the last minute, he said, never mind, I'm not going to sign. They literally had people lined up, press, everybody there for the signing ceremony. And then he changed his mind. And now he's saying, I'm not going to sign it. But so he was in favor of it until he wasn't. And so now he's not.
But it doesn't seem that there's been much movement from Republicans to get on board with the Save America Act. It doesn't seem like there's going to be the support to get that done.
No, there's not the support to get it done.
He's dug in on something that's not going to help.
Yeah. So that's right. So here in Utah, some of the things I think we'll see is that large corporations not able to buy single-family homes. I think part of the looking at real estate financing, and so, for example, Freddie Mac, right, and Fannie Mae. So making it easier for people, especially as they're at the beginning of their home buying experience, to be able to do that. They're going to make it, for example, some of the regulations. If you have a house that's being built between two buildings that have already had an environmental review, you don't have to review the empty lot because you've already done the review, right? So they're trying to say, look, we've already done this. Again, making it easier for these manufactured homes, and those are cheaper options when you're talking about affordable housing.
Well, I'm glad Congress got together, and I'm glad they did something about that, because we both have personal insight into our younger people trying to be able to get a home. And I mean, you and I probably couldn't afford our own homes right now.
Right.
If we had to buy them from
That's
scratch.
so true. It's so true. So it's really interesting to have this big, very popular bill that could be a real win going into the midterms. But now the president is like, nope, I am not going to sign it.
But Monday when we get together here, it may be law.
That's right.
If he does nothing,
if he doesn't say he's going to
be
veto it, that's right. So in the next hour of Inside Sources, Utah's economy is still hot, but it often feels like our pocketbooks are getting lighter and lighter. And so I want to have a conversation about this. Stay with us.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour, officials in Box Elder County have declared a state of emergency because of an outbreak of avian flu impacting dairy cows. County commissioners say a dairy sample tested positive for the virus, which could cause a milk production shortage. There is no immediate threat to the public as long as the milk is pasteurized. People are being cautioned against drinking raw milk. Utah fire crews are making some major progress on the Wild Goose and Babylon fires. Wild Goose is at 88% containment and has been updated to 12,600 acres. The Babylon fire is 25% contained, but still sits in a high acreage with 102,900 acres burned. We also have a fire in American Fork Canyon that led to the evacuation of some campgrounds and popular hiking trails. It has burned around 5 acres. Several fire engines and helicopters are currently working the fire, which is 0% contained. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. President Trump has removed the 3 remaining members of a bipartisan federal commission that tests and certifies voting machines.
Stood up to help states update their voting systems after the 2000 Florida recount. The Election Assistance Commission certifies equipment and offers guidance to state officials. It's meant to be bipartisan. An aide says the president has the right to remove officials who, quote, may not be totally aligned with the important task of securing America's elections and ensuring every legal vote is counted. Top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer calls the firings a brazen attempt to seize control of elections months before the midterms.
ABC Stephen Portnoy reporting. Your money at this moment. The Dow is up 114 points at this hour at 52,601. Coming up, the heat is here this weekend. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:02.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Are you a local business tired of juggling deliveries, managing drivers, or sending valuable employees across town? There's a better way. Pigeon Ship. For more than 10 years, Pigeon Ship has provided fast, reliable, same-day and next-day delivery services for businesses throughout Utah. Whether you need a few deliveries a day or hundreds, Pigeon Ship has the network, technology, and experience to get it done on time. Auto parts, plumbing supplies, electrical components, pharmacy deliveries, and more. Utah's most successful businesses trust Pigeon Ship to keep their operations moving. Stop the stress of hiring drivers. Stop pulling employees away from their real jobs. And stop worrying about whether your deliveries will arrive on time. Join the thousands of businesses that rely on Pigeon Ship every day for dependable local delivery solutions. Visit pigeonship.com today to schedule a call and see how quickly Pigeon Ship can streamline your delivery operations. Pigeon Ship. Avoid the trip. Pigeon Ship. That's pigeonship.com. pigeonship.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This is the story of the one. The one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Amanda, every business needs IT help. And sometimes you've got that guy who already works for your company who knows how to do this stuff, but sometimes you don't. Or the guy who knows the IT stuff, that's not his actual job.
Right. So Les Olson IT they can be your 24/7 help desk. They can support your existing help desk. They can do advanced cybersecurity protection. Maybe just come and take a look. Are you subject to phishing or ransomware or other things? What are the cyber threats you're facing?
And you've got to make sure that your data is secure. So both cloud and data backup solutions, they can help you with that. Plus, everybody's got to use a computer. That's where hardware comes in, infrastructure support. You don't have to know all this stuff because Les Olson IT knows it.
And most of the time, they can help you fix whatever's going wrong remotely, just off your computer. Plus, of course, they have copiers and printers. They always will at the very best price.
Les Olson IT is your trusted local IT partner. They've been in business for 70 years, and they've got 9 locations from Logan to Las Vegas.
Find out more at lesolson.com. Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Auto loan rates as low as 4.74% APR. And here's Cormac Bone.
Northbound Mountain View corridor is still closed at Porter Rockwell Boulevard, where drivers are being diverted over to Redwood Road, but it's not too slow on Redwood, so you can get into Salt Lake County without too much trouble as you come up on Mountain View corridor. Eastbound on the 2100 north in Lehigh, seeing some delays lasting longer into the morning and drive, and that's because of drivers avoiding Mountain View corridor. So it's a little slow between Redwood Road and I-15 on 2100 north in Lehigh. On I-15, no delays between Ogden and Provo. While you're planning your day, plan for comfort too with the Good Feet store. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
We should hit 100 degrees today in Salt Lake City, 104 tomorrow, 106 on Sunday. That would set a daily record and is just 1 degree off from the all-time heat record. Right now, it's 82 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
So, speaking of hot, it's not just our weather that's hot. Utah's economy is hot. We're number one all the time. But at the same time, I think it feels like I don't always see that when I go to the grocery store. Things are more expensive. It's harder to make the dollar stretch. Anyway.
Yeah, so for the next couple of segments, let's talk about that. And let's talk about really what we're calling the bottom line, and that is how Utah's hot economy can actually help all of us.
So joining us for the first part of this conversation is Derek Miller, President and CEO of the Salt Lake Chamber. Derek, thanks for joining us. Hi.
So good to be with both of you.
Look, I want to talk to you about Utah Rising in just a minute, but I wonder if you can talk to us generally about what I feel like is maybe sometimes a disconnect, right? I see all the rankings, Utah's number one, economy's number one, but it doesn't always feel like that when I go to the grocery store.
Well, they actually are not, it is not a disconnect. It's actually a connection. When a hot economy sometimes overheats, and that's when we get inflation. And that's when you feel the pain. You feel the pain at the pump. You feel the pain at the grocery store. So it's a real thing. And this is exactly the debate that we've been having for a few years now, coming out of the COVID pandemic when the economy overheated and we saw a lot of money coming from the federal government into people's checking accounts, and people started spending a lot of money. And normally spending money is good because we're a consumer-driven economy, but sometimes it overheats. And now we see that same debate going on with the Federal Reserve and what they're going to do to make sure that they try to keep inflation low.
Hey, Derek, can you tell our listeners what Utah Rising is, and maybe just explain it a little bit? I know we talked about it earlier, but just help us understand what Utah Rising is about.
Well, Utah Rising really has its foundation in something that the chamber did about 20 years ago when I first moved back to the state. And that at that time, our downtown was very different than it is today. Both of you know that. It was really struggling about 2 decades ago, and a lot of boarded up buildings on Main Street and just other signs of blight. And the chamber and other business leaders got together and said, we need a plan for revitalizing downtown, and they called it Downtown Rising. And by and large, this was a 20-year plan that's been worked hard, and we've seen a lot of great success from that, and we'll continue to see success. In the next 8 to 10 years, our downtown will totally transform again. But the idea behind Utah Rising is the whole state is growing. The whole state needs a plan for how we grow. We can't just let this happen by accident. And we also don't want to wake up in 10 years and wonder, oh my gosh, we became something we didn't want to become, urban sprawl and other things like that. So Utah Rising is based on this concept that 9 out of every $10 in Utah's economy comes from the private sector. Therefore, since the private sector grows our economy, the private sector ought to be guiding our economy. And so we brought a bunch of business leaders together and talked about what we want to see happen in the state, across the state over the next 10 years.
So, Derek, let me ask you about small businesses, because it feels like, and maybe it's not data driven, but it feels like small businesses maybe have a harder time. Does Utah Rising help them as well, or really just kind of the big players?
Well, the important thing to remember, Holly, is that over 90% of Utah businesses are small businesses. So when we say that they're the backbone of our economy, they literally are what drives our economy. So the answer to your question is yes, absolutely. Focusing on small businesses is a big part of Utah Rising. In fact, within the 6 areas, target areas that we've identified, one of those target areas is making sure that we have a very healthy and vibrant business environment. And the specific goal around that is growing our small and medium-sized enterprises.
Derek, I have to say that downtown is almost unrecognizable for me over what it was 10 years ago. And I don't know what y'all did, but the restaurants, the nightlife, the hotels, I mean, how did you attract that and get that into our downtown environment? Because I moved up north to Ogden, and I went downtown a lot over the holidays this past year, and I thought, it's just amazing. I'm really patting you on the back, but I'm also asking what was going on behind all of that.
Well, I'll take the thanks, but I can't take the credit. I'll take it on behalf of a very strong and vibrant business economy downtown. Obviously, the big one was the development of City Creek. This really changed not just the face of our downtown, but what it made Salt Lake City become was a hub of economic activity, not just for Utah, but for the Intermountain West. It's very interesting when you talk to the people at City Creek, they'll tell you that almost half of their daily shoppers come from outside of Utah. So, I mean, these are people who are coming from all over the region. But the specific answer to your question, and to prove the point, when I moved to Salt Lake City 20 years ago, it was a ghost town in the evenings. I mean, you saw people during the day going around, and a lot of our workforce from the Wasatch Front comes to Salt Lake City. It's the economic engine, not just the capital city, but the economic engine for our state. So when you come downtown now, and not just on the weekends, just as you've said, Greg. It is so vibrant in the evenings. In fact, we just crossed a really interesting threshold where our nighttime economy is about on par with our daytime economy. I mean, it doesn't mean we have the same number of people, but the revenue that's being generated, which says a lot about how our city has changed over the last decade.
Wow. So if somebody is listening right now and they're thinking, gosh, I need to know more about Utah Rising and I want in, what's their first step?
Well, of course, we direct people to the Utah Rising website, which is really easy. It's utahrising.com. It has not just the plan on there, it actually has a really cool interactive dashboard. So people can look at the strategic areas that we've identified. Those include workforce, that includes housing, which is a big topic for everyone. It includes energy, natural resources, as I mentioned earlier, what is our business environment, transportation. And which with each one of those, we have very specific measures of how we're doing, and they can find that on those dashboards. And then, of course, whatever interests people, we'd encourage them to find out which of those they care the most about, either professionally or personally or both, and then get involved with the Salt Lake Chamber or get involved with their local chamber. All of our local chambers are also participating in Utah Rising. We worked closely with them in putting this plan together, and this is the best way to get involved.
Absolutely. Thanks, Derek. That was Derek Miller, President and CEO of the Salt Lake Chamber. And I cannot stress enough what good has come to the Salt Lake downtown environment, and just how much I love hanging out down in Salt Lake. Really, during the week, like you say, you can get a world-class dinner at probably 30 places in Salt Lake where it used to be one or two.
Yeah.
Anyway, when we come back, let's keep talking about money. And one thing that's maybe not so good, that is rising gas prices. Just when you thought we were getting a little relief, they're jumping back up again. Let's talk about what's going on and why that's occurring when we come back.
Hey there, it's Julie from Logan. Head up north where the air is clear for a refreshingly unexpected getaway. Start your day by singing yodelay-hoo at the top of your lungs on a canyon trail with views that go on for miles. Here's a secret. The National Forest is only 10 minutes from your hotel. What? I know. Next, rent horses or a side-by-side at Beaver Creek Lodge up Logan Canyon to spy colorful wildflowers and birds and stunningly beautiful scenery. After your day of adventure, wander downtown to check out our local shops selling everything from antiques to giant jigsaw puzzles to vintage clothing and goat's milk soap. Watch them hand-dip chocolates at Bluebird Candy, eat sourdough pizza, or drop into the family-friendly Prodigy Brew Pub where their deep-fried pickle spears are divine. I didn't even mention live theater performance like the Lyrics Laugh Out Loud Forever Plaid, or free concerts every weekday at noon in the Tabernacle, or community festivals, or, see what I'm saying? We are refreshingly Logan. Visit explorelogan.com, explorelogan.com.
It's the movie show broadcasting live today from NPS in Layton, and I just got handed the list of movie show specials, Val, and they're killing me.
I heard the word cheese.
Yes.
Cheese.
Chris,
who doesn't love
Chris,
cheese?
I was like, my wife shopped at NPS yesterday. I wasn't going to buy anything today, and then you put this special on.
Lies.
He always says he's not, and he always does.
He always does.
I mean, this is a 2-pound block of cheddar cheese at the regular store retail, $11.99. You guys have it for $5.99 today.
It's the best cheese, too.
I know, we can't even tell you the brand.
I know, it's so good.
But it's the one my son
It's
loved
the
when
fancy
he
brand.
was in Oregon
It is a fancy
for his
brand.
mission. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah.
And it's a fancy brand for $5.99, a 2-pound block of cheddar. So, yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. What are some of the other deals you guys have going on today?
We have our basic, like our clothing is 50% off.
Extra 50,
Extra
okay.
50 off of bedding. But we also have sporting goods at 30% off and garden supplies. Because we're going into that.
'Tis
And
the
it's
season to garden.
Yeah, maybe you want to keep some of these plants indoors for another week till we get out of the 105-degree temperatures.
Right. We have
But
air
still.
conditioners, too,
Oh.
30% off.
Fans and AC 30%. On top of your already 30 to 70% off markdown.
Yes.
See, NPS says, what do the people need?
Everything.
And then they mark cheese. And then they say, what do you need? You need fans and AC. You guys
do.
are awesome with this.
We're also going to have some mystery stuff going on today in the bargain area.
Oh, at all stores or just here?
Just this location.
Just in Layton at 1150 North Main. But they've got deals at all the NPS stores in their 4 locations. Salt Lake, 1600 South Empire Road. They got a tent outside that one.
They do.
With awesome clearance deals. Then you've got, of course, 475 North State in Orem. And here in Layton, super easy. Get off at Hillfield Road. Go west, turn right, and then just stay in that right lane, and it will literally put you into the parking lot because the lane runs out at the parking lot. So, yeah, come say hi to the movie show at NPS through 1 o'clock today.
Most families get their financial advice in pieces. A financial advisor here, a CPA there, an estate attorney somewhere else. Everyone means well, but nobody's talking to each other, and those gaps can work against you. Trajan Wealth's family office brings wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning together. Not as separate conversations, but as one coordinated system built around your life, your goals, and the people who matter most. Ours is a true family office, not one that refers you out because it's convenient. This kind of dedicated collaboration used to require a 7-figure net worth. But here's the game changer. Trajan kicked that door open. Trajan advisors are fiduciaries, always obligated, always honored to act in your best interest. Unlock your Trajan family office at TrajanWealth.com or call 1-855-TRAJAN-1. That's 1-855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax.
Any Hour Services can make sure your AC keeps you cool this summer. Whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
911, tell me exactly what happened. My son and his wife and their 2 children haven't responded.
Susan Powell disappeared on a snowy morning in 2009.
Your wife is missing, Josh.
Yeah, but
And you want to think about it for a couple of days?
The podcast, Cold, has gone deep on these kinds of stories.
I'd had this overwhelming feeling that he had done something to her already.
Clearly, something happened on that couch because he cleaned it.
Find and follow Cold wherever you get your podcasts.
All in together now, we can make it better. Can we do it? We'll rope it up. Cause we know how to jump.
Moving and eating better every day can help make you and your kids healthier. Search We Can online to find out more. A message from the Ad Council, HHS, and NIH's We Can program.
Inside Sources.
Well, the situation in Iran has not helped things with the changing fuel and oil prices. They've been a nightmare over the past few months. I actually own a couple electric cars, but I also bought a diesel this year. Whoa, my timing was awful.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
not
just when
good.
you think you're going to get a little relief, the higher prices are popping back up again.
Yeah, so just this morning, the president posted on Truth Social that while talks can continue, the pause is completely over. The ceasefire is over. I think that's clear. So the gas prices hopped back up, but just the beginning of this month, and we're only at the 10th, there was a plan called the Freedom Fuel Network, and we're wondering if that could help prices go down. The White House thinks so.
Yeah, but before we get to that, we're going to ask you this. Are you seeing gas prices shoot up again? Text us at 57500 and tell us how big a jump you're seeing in your neighborhood today over kind of what you've seen over the last couple of weeks. Have you noticed that yourself?
Yeah, so the gas station I passed on the way up, it jumped 30 cents this week. So and I have a friend online who is like, literally, I was driving to the gas station and the price went up 20 cents. He went inside and said, "Is this right?" And they said, "Yeah, we had to raise our prices." And it was a big jump.
It's a full-on fracas in Iran right now with what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz. Is it open? Is it closed?
Right.
The ceasefire is nothing right now.
It's gone.
And that has caused a big problem with oil prices. And in fact, I mean, it's significant. They're higher than they've been in several weeks. So whatever decrease we had recently is gone.
Yeah. So President Trump, as I mentioned, declared the ceasefire is over. And so people are wondering what is going to happen to gas prices if the Strait of Hormuz gets caught in the crossfire again. And we do have ABC News chief business correspondent Rebecca Jarvis with more.
The national average jumping 6 cents overnight to $3.81 a gallon this morning, according to GasBuddy. And the key here to what happens next to that price for Americans is what happens in the Strait of Hormuz. And in the last 24 hours, Kepler tells ABC News it has seen 25 ships cross. Now, that is lower than what we've seen in previous days.
But at least something's getting through there.
I
I
know.
guess that's something good.
But the price of oil has jumped again, right? It was starting to go down with the ceasefire negotiations, and it just popped right back up.
Yeah, and so we talked about this a little bit. Oh no, we were going to talk about it yesterday, but we kept getting interrupted. The whole Freedom Fuel Network. Yeah. The White House has announced the creation of something called the Freedom Fuel Network. Right now, it's just limited to Pennsylvania and New Jersey,
and only a handful of stations.
Yeah, but they are allowed to sell gas at $3.47 per gallon. The first station in Philadelphia opened this week. The White House claims that 25 participating stations are, quote, simply reducing their margin to make prices at the pump more affordable. So, I mean, I guess the government must be making up the difference or something like that. But $3.47 per gallon is certainly well below where we're going to be, especially when what we just heard was we're now averaging $3.81 per gallon. So that's...
Well, the gas station that I pass on the way to work is $3.99. So
yeah.
It's interesting. It's an interesting conversation with the Freedom Fuel Network because nobody really knows who's behind it because the White House is saying, well, we're not subsidizing this. This is a private thing. And it really literally just popped up on the 1st of July. And so it's kind of interesting. Also, $3.47 isn't, I mean, it's okay. I don't know what the prices in New Jersey and Philadelphia were before that. They had to have been over $4, I would guess.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you're looking at $3.99, $3.47, it's
it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Sure. So, look, one of the things I think to know, right? We've talked about gas prices a whole lot on our show, and people, Utah is a driving state. We don't have public transportation that can reliably and quickly get me from Utah County to downtown Salt Lake. Now I'll probably get people calling me on that one. I don't know, but it would double my commute to be able to take public transportation. It's available, kind of, right? But it would double my commute time, and so people drive here, and we spend money on gas. And maybe that's part of the conversation we were just having with Derek, is that we're feeling like you keep saying the economy is doing great, but it doesn't feel that great.
No, and of course, we talked about gas prices. We invested in electric cars 10 years ago, and Utah hasn't followed that.
Right.
We haven't set up the infrastructure. I know a lot of our listeners will
It's getting
disagree.
better.
It's because it is absolutely getting better, but it's still not. I mean, my son said, why don't you come visit us in California? And I thought, well, I'm not going to take the Tesla. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because even though I guess you could get across 80, but I don't know.
If you ran out of power in Death Valley, that'd be a bad thing.
That'd be a bad day.
That'd be a bad thing. We do have a texter who said this, and I totally agree. I hate that prices go up instantly when something happens, and it takes weeks, if not months, to go back down when the issue is resolved. And I think that that's true, right? And we've talked with some of our friends who are economists who say it's because they're buying futures, and so you see this, right? So we're going to pay in 3 months what they're paying for gas for today. Although I will note that 2.5 months from now, we probably won't see a decrease either.
Probably
right?
not. And the situation in Iran's getting worse. This Freedom Fuel Network, though, I think is a positive thing. It's like the housing bill. I mean, there are things that the government is reacting to in its own way and saying, look, we've got to help people with finances, and the economy's not great right now. I think a lot of people are very disappointed with the state of the economy right now. And so this may be another little shot in the arm, thinking, okay, let's help some groups out. But if you're only dealing with parts of Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
Well, and it's 25 stations across those two areas, right? So this is an ABC News story that says, look, we don't really think that this is a business model that's sustainable. In fact, one expert called it jumping off a cliff, right? This would be maybe the loss leader for a small amount of time. I don't know. But what people are saying is we don't actually know who's behind this. The White House says it's a private company, and they're just reducing their margin. Some people are saying, yeah, but where's that money coming from? Or who's subsidizing the 50 cents a gallon drop, right? So... it's the Freedom Fuel Network trademarked that name on July 1st, and then on July 3rd, they started lowering gas prices at 25 stations.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe a good thing. you're going to get mad at me here, Holly. I just have to digress for a second. It's 10:30.
Oh, we're talking Tyler Robinson.
They haven't called a single witness yet in the Tyler Robinson case. And I just need to turn off that TV because you know what I mean? I'm looking at
the live
they're
stream.
arguing about cameras in the courtroom for the 312th time, I think. And the judge, I mean, I'm sorry. We should be talking about gas prices, but that's what happens when you bring a lawyer into the room. And we're watching a preliminary hearing, and I'm thinking, this preliminary hearing should have been done Tuesday about 2 o'clock.
Gosh.
Okay, I'm done. I'll quit.
Look, you don't have to be done. We can just wrap up by talking about there's nothing new yet to report on this 5th day of the preliminary hearing in Tyler Robinson. And, you know, we talked about people sleeping overnight, trying to get in line first so they could be inside. One of the other things that I've noticed, and I mentioned it once before this week, is that there are snipers on the roof around the courthouse. There are people who are outside providing security in the heat as this thing drags on.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll be done today, but it won't be done today. They're going to do.
Won't.
What's also confusing, I really got off subject here.
No, it's fine.
You can kick me. But is that they're going to do closing arguments in September?
Yeah, that's
wild.
wild.
What are we, July 10th? So yeah, let's come back in
6
September
weeks, 7 weeks.
and give each side 2 hours to summarize what should have been a 2-hour preliminary hearing. Okay. All right.
That was a really good soapbox. Thanks, Greg.
Sorry about that.
No, it's great.
Okay, well, it is the middle of July, and we just talked about that, and it's already time for back-to-school shopping.
Yay!
But for refugees here in Utah, it could be harder than normal to get prepared for the new school year. So coming up next, we'll get some insights into this issue and what some good people are doing here in Utah to help that community out. Stay with us.
10:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour, temperatures are expected to be in the triple digits starting today and lasting through the weekend until Tuesday. Salt Lake City's all-time heat record temperature is 107 degrees, and by Sunday, we're expected to hit at least 106. National Weather Service meteorologist Mike Seaman says Provo and Ogden could also set new records.
Only between about 2 and 6 p.m., where we'll be seeing the hottest part of the day, the hottest temperatures.
Seaman says make sure to stay hydrated and stay indoors during the hottest parts of the day. Our top national story this hour from ABC News, extreme heat is also impacting the southeastern part of the U.S.
We have extreme heat warnings in effect for coastal South Carolina. Charleston could feel like 110 degrees yet again this afternoon. Heat advisories continue into northern parts of Florida. Daytona Beach feeling like 104. How about northwestern Mississippi and eastern parts of Arkansas as well? And this will continue well into the weekend. Not much relief during the nighttime hours, which really presents a problem, especially for folks without air conditioning.
ABC meteorologist Jeff Smith. The heat is even reaching Yellowstone National Park, where new restrictions are being put in place. The park is limiting when people can fish. Rivers and streams will be closed to fishing daily from 2 p.m. to sunrise the following day. A release from the park says the sun is heating up the water too much, and the closure will help protect the fish. Your money at this moment, the Dow is up 88 points. At this hour, we're at 52,575. Coming up, the triple-digit heat wave begins today. KSL Weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:31. Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio. The movie show broadcasting live today from NPS in Layton. And we're at the store, and I was just wandering around a few minutes ago, Chris, because first of all, you hooked me with the 2 pounds of cheddar cheese for $5.99 of this highly sought-after name brand cheddar cheese. And so I was like, well, let's see what other deals you got. And I noticed that you've got 2 sets of my kids' favorite snacks. And my wife likes to get these for kids' school lunches because she packs a lunch for them most days of the week. And you've got those 7 to 10 ounce boxes of name brand graham cracker snacks that are shaped like an animal.
Yep.
But you guys have them 2 for $1.
Yes.
I mean, this is snack. Actually, that was why my wife came to NPS yesterday. Was my daughter's going to camp next week and needed snacks. This is where we always go when we need snacks. We come here.
Best deals ever.
I just found out there's a bargain area. How come this is the first time I'm hearing about this?
I believe the question is, how come you haven't wandered the whole store yet, Val?
There's just so much, and everything's always on sale. So how would I know there's a separate bargain area when all the prices are so good?
That's the mystery of MPS. There's always something better to find.
So there's a bargain area
We
here
have a
at the
bargain
Layton
area.
store.
Yes. And there's going to be some mystery going on today in that area. So
another reason to come in and say hi to the movie show and check out what kind of mystery bargain deals. I mean, honestly, Chris, everything here is a bargain.
It is.
And then you guys go and make even greater bargains, and now you're telling us there's even a discounter area.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got a shirt that I sleep in, $1.
At the bargain area?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I don't have to sleep in it. It was that comfortable. I decided to sleep in it. It was like a baseball jersey, but just no name on it, just a baseball jersey.
It's awesome.
These are the kind of deals. This is why I wasn't going to buy anything today. We discussed this. My wife and I discussed this, and here we are. Any other deals that we want to highlight today for people?
You know, the air conditioning and fans is probably a really big one with the temperatures and stuff.
So like a room AC and stuff?
Yes. 30% off.
Boy, those are handy on the second floors of places, I'll tell you that much.
Yes.
Okay, so fans and ACs, 30% off. I see kitchen supplies, an extra 30% off.
Yep.
And so Steve will come. You guys put bedding and linens, an extra 50% off.
Oh, we have the quarter sodas.
The what?
The four for $1
on the cans
You're
of soda.
in so much trouble today, Andy.
They just came in. They just got off the truck. Just
my
FYI.
goodness. All right. Well, I'm going to go shop. So come and join us here at 1150 North Main Street in Layton. Or you can go to the NPS store in Salt Lake at 1600 South Empire Road, or in Utah County in Orem, 475 North State.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home and auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Auto loan rates as low as 4.74% APR. And here's Cormac Bone.
Well, it's good news for drivers on Mountain View Corridor. It is now open north and southbound at Porter Rockwell Boulevard. But if you take Porter Rockwell westbound, that is closed right now. That's where they've moved over the vehicles, so you can't get onto Mountain View Corridor westbound from Porter Rockwell Boulevard. I-15, we're seeing some delays southbound just after 7200 South in Midvale. And in Weber County, there's some pretty heavy delays southbound I-15 approaching 12th Street. That's due to a crash. A texter giving us a report of that one. It looks like that crash in Weber County is off on the right shoulder now, but was previously blocking lanes. Earn double points on gas and groceries this summer, plus 10,000 bonus points when you open a new Cypress CU Rewards Visa. Learn more at cypresscu.com. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
We should hit 100 degrees today in Salt Lake City, and we're going to stay in the triple digits through Tuesday. The hottest day will be Sunday with a predicted 106. Right now it's 86 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
So I'm really excited about this next segment, but I have to tell you, just after the 4th of July weekend, I walked into Walmart. It might have been Monday or Tuesday, and the first thing I see is back to school supplies. So I told my 11-year-old, and her response was, ugh. Right? But I love back-to-school shopping, so
Sort
it's...
of my thought, too. I haven't done back-to-school shopping for
fun.
a long time. I just remember it used to be pretty...
If you're the
you have to
student,
do
maybe.
Clothes, school supplies, pens, paper, everything. It was fun, but I don't miss it.
So, look, for refugees here in Utah who aren't as familiar with the process or they don't have the extra funds, like it's something I take for granted, but it shouldn't be taken for granted because it can be a real barrier for a successful school year.
So we have with us Amy Harmer from the Utah Refugee Connection. Thanks for joining us today.
So happy to be here.
And bringing your beautiful daughter, who's probably going back to school.
Shout out to my husband. It's his birthday today.
Oh, there you go.
Better shout him out.
You got
Shout
everything
out to
going.
Amy's husband.
Good for
I don't
the
know your
Harmer
name.
family.
Scott Harmer.
Hi, Scott.
Okay.
So look, I want to ask you just to talk about this. I have been involved with Utah Refugee Connection and the back to school festivities stuff for several years, but it's a little different this year. And I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, every year we serve about 2,000 to 5,000 refugee students that are going back to school. This year's a little different because we don't have new refugees that came this year. And so we're not collecting backpacks, but we are helping them have the school supplies that they need for back to school. And we're also doing some basic hygiene items so they feel confident and excited to go back to school. We have a large event that's less than a month away where they come and they find out about all different resources that are available to them. But we're really in a crunch to be ready for that event. So we're hoping to engage the community in helping refugees feel safe, seen, and supported here.
So describe what the hygiene kit or hygiene packet or hygiene items would look like.
So a lot of the basic necessities for refugees are hard to get sometimes, and many of them are losing food stamp benefits. And so we have a basic back to school hygiene kit that has shampoo, bar soap, toothpaste, toothbrush, and deodorant. That's just in a gallon Ziploc bag that people can put together as a family. They can bring us those items. They can bring them to our share house on Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 until 2 o'clock. It's 3134 South, 300 East, and we need 3,000 of those.
Oh, wow.
So it's a big ask. And then we were able to purchase all of the school supplies for these refugee students at cost. And so people can donate on our website or on our social media feed $15 to get all the school supplies that a refugee needs to start the school year off confidently. And right now we have a matching grant for $25,000. So for every $15 donated, it will be doubled.
Mm-hmm.
And so it will cover 2 students' school supplies. And my favorite thing is when these kids line up and they start getting their stuff, they just are excited to start school.
Yeah.
And I think it helps build their confidence. We also had Hydro Jug donate water bottles for them. So we're going to have a big party and help them feel confident starting school.
That is fun. I want to go back to the hygiene kits because one of the things that I know from just having an 11-year-old, she's going into junior high this year, her skincare routine is like insane. Like when I was younger, I'd be like, yeah, I'm lucky if I use soap to wash my face. Maybe it was just water. And yet she's got this big routine. I know how important it is, right? And I feel like maybe we are a little bit blinded to how difficult it is sometimes to get things that we take so for granted, like deodorant. Can you just speak to the impact that having a hygiene kit like this for a teenager, a refugee teenager, how is that helpful for them?
I think it's really critical that you feel confident when you go to school. I mean, you know if you're having a bad hair day, to put it in, simple language, you just don't feel quite as confident. And so if we can help these kids feel like they have the things that they need to feel clean and to feel fresh and to be set up well in school and to be like their peers, I think, no one wants to stand out for the wrong reasons. And so this is just an extra offering for these students to be a little more confident starting school.
What is your community that you're serving right now? Is about 3,000 students?
Well, we have 65,000 refugees in Utah that are at various stages of becoming part of our community, but we have all of their kids. And so, if you think 65,000, that's a lot of children, 50% of those are children. And so we've seen a lot of Afghans, we've seen a lot of Ukrainians. So, anything we can do to help them feel, like I said, safe, seen, and supported in our community is a real gift. I think many times we take for granted that we have these beautiful opportunities and we can share that with others. And there's so many things we can't make a difference. I mean, there's so many policies and things where we feel like our hands are tied, but this is something where you can, give $15 or go take your kids shopping to buy basic supplies that fill your heart with a little goodness, but also make a difference for a refugee student here in Utah.
I know you have a number of stories that are success stories, but I wonder if you might want to share one with our listeners.
Yeah, a couple of years ago at this same event, we had a group of students that wanted to come and volunteer that were refugee students, and one of those students was in her first year at the University of Utah in biomedical engineering, and we got to know her, and she said, I just really want to give back. And so she would come and help us give out the backpacks to these students, and at the end she said, would it be okay if I took a backpack?
Oh,
and
wow.
I said, for sure you can have a backpack. And she still has that backpack.
Oh, wow.
And now she's in her third year of medical school at the University of Utah.
Oh, wow.
And I think
That's incredible.
we underestimate if we have, creativity, ingenuity, intelligence. Those things are universal. Opportunities are not. And if you give the tools to people to be successful, I'm not saying our backpack got her into medical school, but someone believing in her and having confidence in her ability to make a difference is just a joy to watch. And last week I took her to the Bicycle Collective to get a bike because gas is too expensive, and Bicycle Collective does amazing work. And it was 2 hours of total joy spending time with her as she is telling me about medical school and the things she's accomplishing. And I just feel like I wish more people could see what the gift of basic supplies, school supplies, does to the confidence of these individuals to become who they're meant to be.
Remind us of the website.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay, it's serverefugees.org. You can go there, or you can go to Serve Refugees on Instagram or Facebook, and there's all the information there.
And the items you need for the hygiene kit.
We need a bar soap, shampoo, toothbrush, toothpaste, and deodorant. And just put them in a Ziploc bag and bring them to us, and we'll happily take them.
At 3134 South, 300 East.
South Salt Lake.
All right, sounds good. I was trying to write it down. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And happy birthday to the husband.
Thank you.
When we come back, let's finish up this week with our friends at the KSL Movie Show. The big movie question of the week is, what is your favorite Disney movie sidekick? I had to look that one up. Text us at 57500, and we'll share our thoughts after this.
More than 50 million Americans suffer from a form of mental illness.
And Utah isn't immune, with nearly 1 in 3 people dealing with anxiety, depression, or another form of mental illness.
But there's hope. We can all take action to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe.
That's why KSL has teamed with the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation to bring you hope and help you thrive.
It's Healthy Mind Matters.
Find out more at healthymindmatters.com.
Trying to make sense of the markets? Looking to diversify out of all the craziness? Thinking about tangible assets like precious metals? Listen to The Gold Show with Walt Phillips right here on KSL at 3 p.m. Sunday afternoons. Stay up to date on retirement trends, how the IRA rollover process works, and why investors are turning to physical gold. Walt is a national talk show host with decades of experience in the markets. Tune in for Walt's Insights and The Gold Show this Sunday afternoon at 3.
The Movie Show broadcasting live from NPS in Layton. And NPS stands for National Product Services, but we like to say it's the nicest place to save because regardless of what things are happening outside of an NPS store with prices and inflation and everything like that, inside the NPS store, it's always 30 to 70% off the original retail price for the brand new items with the tags still on them. And then you guys go, you know what? I feel like this is still too expensive. Let's chop another fill-in-the-blank % off. And I'm looking at the chart for today. This is good at all the stores. 50% off, an extra 50% off of clothing.
Yep.
An extra 50% off bedding and linens. Then an extra 30% off kitchen supplies.
Correct.
I mean, you can never go wrong.
You need stuff for summer.
Right. It's like you guys are like, you know what? The temperature is degrees outside. So let's mark 70% off of kitchen or something like that. That's how NPS works. But here's the really good one. Speaking of the hot temperatures, you guys have fans and AC an extra 30% off right now. If it's too hot when you're sleeping at night, go get one of those floor oscillating fans to blow on you. It really helps.
It does help. It does. And 30% off.
Yeah, and then sporting goods, also 30% off. It's almost like you're doing things with a summer theme.
It is.
But see, usually stores do that like after the season ends. And then they're like, hey, summer's over. Why don't you come back and get all your summer items for cheap? NPS does it during the season.
Well, yeah, we want everyone to be able to do as much as they can. Giving back to the community is important.
Well, talking about food, if you got snacks, going on a road trip, come to NPS, any of the locations, and get the snacks there first. Right now, extra movie show special today, 2 for $1 on the 10-ounce boxes of the graham cracker snacks. And my wife, by the way, I texted her, I said, what do you think? And she's like, yeah, better pick up a few boxes.
Yeah.
Because they go in lunches.
I thought you weren't getting anything.
Yeah, but because that deal wasn't on yesterday. I double check before I do. We're also going to do the 2 pounds of cheddar cheese, the medium cheddar, $5.99 for a 2-pound block of cheddar cheese.
The good cheese.
And it's the good cheese.
It's
That's
the
what we
schmancy
say.
cheese.
All right, 4 locations for NPS, 1600 South Empire Road in Salt Lake, 475 North State in Orem. And say hi to the movie show, 1150 North Main Street in Layton.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and if you have a drain that's clogged or backed up, after you've tried the plungers and products, the next step usually involves some kind of drain snake or cabling equipment. You see, sometimes the blockage is far enough down the line that you need special equipment that most homeowners just don't have. That's where the Drains Department at Any Hour Services can help. A drain snake can clear most blockages and get the water flowing again, and clearing blocked drains is what our Drains Department does day in and day out. So if you're a homeowner with a drain line that's clogged or backed up and you'd like one of our drain technicians to come and snake the line for you, it's only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
And expanded Inside Sources.
You know, if it's going to be hot outside, why not go inside? Go to a movie theater, see a new film, get a little popcorn, a cold drink, and of course, they are very well air-conditioned. Good idea?
Yes. And if you throw in this week's movie of the week, count me in. In fact, I already have tickets for this afternoon for the movie we're talking about, which is the live-action adaptation of Moana. So we have KSL movie hosts Andy Farnsworth and Val Cameron. Hi, guys.
Live action Moana.
Yay. They're at the NPS store in Layton today. And look, I'm going inside. Greg is riding a bike for 77 miles. I don't know what's going on.
Wait, outdoors today?
Tomorrow morning.
Oh,
Greg,
my goodness.
you better do it at like 4 in the morning.
6:30. I'm going to have it wrapped up. Hey, Andy, before we get too far, I have to tell you, you are... my wife is your biggest fan right now because the Skordas couple would see a movie like every other year. And now, thanks to you and Val, we do it almost every Saturday night. Last weekend, it was the Sheep Detectives, which I thought was going to be goofy.
Good.
And she cried. And she's like, you
said you thought it was going to be goofy, but you said she cried. You didn't say what you thought.
I liked it. I actually loved it.
Oh, good.
Yay. And I saw it,
was
too. It was
glad
really
to see it. I went into it with a bad attitude and left thinking that was a great movie. So you and Val, you're big hits at the Skordas family.
I
love it.
I think there's one this week that you guys might enjoy together. That's called The Invite. We're not going to talk about that until the movie show.
Not going to be a
but I think you guys might like that one. But let's talk about Moana because Disney is now becoming famous for turning their animated stuff into live action. But this is a record turnaround. Just 10 years since the original movie came out, and now we get it on the big screen in live action form. And really, the only complaint, first of all, because nobody's seen it until this week, the only complaint that I'd even heard was, why? Like, why do we have a live action version of a movie that just came out 10 years ago?
That was my thing, is like, why do we need to do it? And then I thought, well, it's because The Rock wanted to play his part before he couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, and then we were wondering if he was going to wear a muscle suit or just get really jacked like he does for the Fast and the Furious movies. The answer is both. And you've never seen The Rock with that long of hair before.
It was flowing.
But, that's the character Maui had.
It is, yeah.
And to me, I think that's actually the biggest key. That's the only one that really needed to be the same person in the live action that it was in the cartoon, because that was the only one who, other than Jermaine Clement as the big giant crab,
my favorite.
And they brought him back to sing Shine. But they needed to have The Rock be Maui.
Yeah,
if they got somebody else, I don't think it would have landed right.
It would not. It would not. So tell me what you thought about it, because I've seen some stuff online that's not super positive.
Yeah, I think
Tell me the last time you saw something online that was super positive about stuff.
Okay, well that's
and I think people love to hate Disney.
I love Disney.
Yeah, I think that there's a big group out there. They're like, oh, this is going to be fun, and this is a remake. Well, we're going to hate it,
Right.
Well, from my perspective, I thought the casting and then seeing the Pacific Islanders on screen, not just their voices, but seeing them in those roles themselves, that to me, plus the casting of The Rock as Maui, that to me is what made it. I can't answer whether you think they should have remade Moana already.
Right.
But I can tell you that when I watched it, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with everything that was going on. Of course, we have Lin-Manuel Miranda, who...
He wrote a new song.
He wrote a new song, and he's just amazing. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when he was doing the first Moana movie, that's when he was writing Hamilton. And so you get some of that in the new song. It's a little bit Hamilton-y, I think.
Well, that's what people said about Maui's song, that was the most Hamilton-feeling song. But this time, this is what's really cool about it. It only plays during the closing credits, I believe. I don't remember a version of it during the movie. But the one that plays during the closing credits has both Ali Carvalho and Catherine Lagaya, who is the live-action one. Both the Moanas sing together in that song.
I love it.
That's awesome.
So
you
Val,
guys,
if
The Rock actually has both of his daughters and his mom in the movie, because he said you only get to do this something like once, and he wanted that memory with his mom.
That's sweet. I think I remember a story from the animated one where he was watching it later with his daughter, who was maybe 3, and she just had a hard time wrapping her head around the fact that her dad was voicing Maui. Like it was like, no, that's not Dad. So that's very fun.
Hey, if the grandkids loved the Moana cartoon, I guess, are they going to like this, Val?
I think so. It is enough different that you get a little more of the story than the original movie, but you still have what you loved about the original. I don't always love a live-action remake when it's just scene by scene the same. And this is
felt
not
like we got
scene
more
by scene.
story from Maui this time.
And we have Hey Hey.
Okay, so let's go to the movie show question. Which is,
and in honor of Hey Hey, the crazy chicken, El Pollo Loco, if you prefer, what is your favorite Disney movie sidekick?
Well, here's mine.
Some sort of a chicken sounding thing.
Boat snack.
We did not coordinate this ahead of time. I love Hey Hey. He is the dumbest chicken ever and so funny. I just think it's so funny. I know, right? I mean, he's literally eating rocks.
Is Hey Hey in the new one?
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
They just said he was.
Oh, okay.
All right, here's Greg.
Yeah, and in fact, Alan Tudyk does the voice of the chicken.
Okay.
The box and the squawks.
All right, here's mine. I'm a little bit old school.
If you can't say something nice,
Aww.
don't say nothing at all.
Thumper.
Oh, I
Who doesn't love
Thumper?
Thumper? Yes, I was thinking Bambi was my favorite character. There was the skunk, but there's always Thumper.
Bambi was your favorite character?
I love that.
No, it was just a movie. It was like I think of a good Disney movie that I actually remember some of the characters from because my kids
What?
watched it.
All right,
Maybe
how about
Hey
you guys?
Hey will be the new one because
Hey
he's
Hey.
going to go see it with his wife and grandkids.
I have two, if that's okay, and it's Maximus and Pascal from Tangled.
Maximus was the horse, right?
Maximus
Yeah.
is the horse, and Pascal is the little.
The chameleon.
Yeah, the chameleon.
That's fun. Yeah, those are fun.
Okay,
never
and
heard
for
of
me, I mean, Kronk is number one. No question. That guy, everything he said in that movie made me laugh.
Okay, that is
Every
funny.
single thing. But, I also liked Lumiere.
Yeah. There's no wrong answer.
I was trying to think in Robin Hood, because that's my favorite Disney animated one of all time, but who was really his sidekick? I guess Hiss?
Maybe.
I
Yeah.
guess so, yeah.
So there.
So we do have a texter, and hopefully you'll get more. But they said Archimedes from Sword in the Stone.
Oh,
Right,
that's a
so
deep
that's a
cut.
fun
Archimedes,
one.
except I didn't like him.
Well, okay.
He was
then
mean.
It's not your
not
He was
about
mean
you.
to Wart.
So we know our producer Andy. I don't know if he can hop on. I know what his is. I
What's
don't
that?
even know if he's listening.
Looks like he is. What is his?
I'm here.
Oh, what's your favorite
Disney movie sidekick.
It's Edna Mode.
Oh.
Oh, yes. From The Incredibles.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
No
You guys
capes.
You guys have named about 8 names that I have never heard of. So, hey,
Well,
starting
Greg,
with
your
Hey Hey.
assignment when you're recovering from the 77-mile bike ride
Yeah,
in
go watch-
97-degree heat,
Yeah, is go watch a Disney movie.
it's always a way to cool down.
We're doing it. We're going to see the 4:30 p.m. show this afternoon. So I'm super excited about
Hey,
that.
where are you, by the way?
We are at NPS in Layton.
All right. Well, we are going to turn it over to the movie show where we're going to talk about Disney movies and the new, live action adaptation of the 2016 Disney movie Moana. And so stay with us. We'll have the movie show right after this.
KSL FM Midvale.